Hi peeps! So today we'll be learning random variables. Technically, this is the first topic for the statistics and probability for grade 11 students. Alright, now this is prepared by yours truly, Tessa Albi. Alright, let's have a motivation first before we proceed with a proper lesson. Alright, now whenever we talk about random variables, technically it is about identifying sample space or the outcomes of an experiment. Now, say we have the following experiments. We have tossing a coin once, tossing a coin twice, roll a die, exam result, and game result. So yan yung mga gagawin natin, experiments. Now, what are the outcomes for those experiments and what are the sample space? Now, if nag-toss ka ng coin once, what are the possible outcome? Now, looking back, we know that a coin just has two faces. Meron tayong head at saka tail. Sa that is for the coin. Now, for a die, we have six faces. So it's either you will have one, two, three, four, five, six. Now, what about for exam? For exam, it's either you fail or you pass. For the game naman, it's either you win or you lose. So those are actually the outcomes for the experiments. Ayan. Experiment natin tossing a coin once. So the outcomes are head and tail. Tossing a coin twice, you will have head head, tail head, and tail tail. Then for rolling a die, one, two, three, four, five, six. Exam result is either you pass or you fail. For the game result, either you win or you lose. Now, ano ba ang sample space? Alright, now, this is easy, I promise. Sample space is somewhat the same lang naman sa outcome. Ang kaso lang, you put it in a sense, in a mathematical sense. You put it in a set. So ganito ang mangyayari. This is it. We have the experiment tossing a coin once. The outcomes are head or tail. Then the sample space is yan. Set of S is equal to head and tail. Ayan. Those are the possible outcomes when you toss a coin once. Now, I hope you understand this one because later on we'll be learning na about how to make a probability distribution using the sample spaces based on the experiments. All right. So just comment below if you have any clarifications or questions. Thank you. Now, let's proceed to an example. Say, for example, if a coin is tossed twice, the set of all possible outcomes of an experiment is, okay, so may dalawa kang coin. Remember, kung isa lang ang coin mo, 'di ba, the outcomes is just head or tail. Ayan. But what about dalawa na? So now, this one is the first set of your, where's my pen? This is the first set of your experiment, the head and the tail. Now, for the second one, second na coin mo, meron din niyang head and tail. So you have now head, and then tail, head, and then tail. So that's it. Now, for this one, this is actually now the possible outcomes of doing the experiment of tossing a coin twice. Now, let's make a summary base of this one. By the way, this diagram is a tree diagram. This shows the possible outcomes of an experiment. I hope you understand this diagram. So, eto siya. So, for the first one, pwede kang head, head. Sa second one naman, head and tail. Sa third one, you may have tail and head na outcome. Sa last naman, you can have tail na outcome. Alright, so ayan na. Okay, you have now the sum. So the sample space for this one is the set of S is equal to HH, HT, TH, and TT. Alright, so now the next thing that we must do is to complete the table on the next slide. Let's see. Let's complete the table below. So ayan, you will have two columns. The first column is about the sample space, and the second one is the number of tails because we are to identify the number of tails for this one. Pwede ka rin gumawa ng experiment focusing on the number of heads. So for the sample space, you can have HH, HT, TH, TT. Diba? Ito yung nakulak natin kanina using the tree diagram. Now, the number of tails on each sample space is simple. We'll just see to it kung meron, ilan bang tails ang meron dyan. Sa HH, ilan bang tails ang meron dyan? Wala, kasi head yan. So that's it. For the second sample space, we have HT. So ilang T, or I mean tail, merong isa. The third one, TH, meron ding isa na tail. And for the last sample space, you have T and T, or that is tail and tail. Therefore, you have two tails. So your table now is complete. Now, therefore, the possible values of the random variable x are x, 1, and 2. All right. So I hope you understand this table. Just comment below if you have any questions or clarifications. Thanks. Now, let's have a book definition of random variable. A random variable is a set whose elements are numbers assigned to the outcomes of an experiment. It is usually denoted by uppercase letters such as X, whose elements are denoted by lowercase letters. Ayan ha. Yung set is denoted by the capital letters or the uppercase letters. And then the elements of that set is denoted by lowercase letters or the small letters. So ayan. Now next, um, let's have a eto pa siya, random variable. So random variable, it is classified into two. You can have a discrete and or continuous. When we talk about discrete variable or random variable is countable. Yung kaya nating i-count. Yeah, count data. Example for this one is number of students. I can just count you. I mean, yeah, in a classroom setting, I can just count you. So that is an example of discrete random variable. Now, what about continuous random variable? Continuous random variable is, of course, continuous scale. Um, Measured data. Example for this one is the heights, weights, and temperature. Right. Now, I hope you understand this one. All right. So let's proceed now to another example. This example focuses on the discrete and continuous random variables. Say, for example, a teacher's record has the following. First, we have the scores of the student in a 50-item test. That is for the X set. For the Y set, we have the gender of the students, and the Z set is the height of the students. So let's classify those. Oh, ano ba sila? Is that a discrete, um, continuous in nature? Okay. Now, CX, scores of students in a 50-item test. Now, ask yourself, kaya mo bang i-count ang score niya? Score ng isang student? Of course, we can. So this is an example of a discrete random variable. Letter X is a discrete random variable. Now, what about letter Y? Gender, is that continuous or discrete? Okay, this one is an example of still discrete random variable. Kasi, say for example, the gender, sa gender, pwede natin sabihin na babae, lalaki. Sa babae or male and female, say we have male, we represent that one with a discrete value, say that is 0, and for female, that is 1. Parang ganun lang. So that is one nature of the discrete random variable. Now for the set Z, height of the students, I hope you remember the presentation kanina, the slide kanina. I have shown you the height. This one is an example of a continuous random variable. All right. So on the next slides, I have here activities that you can try. And then, yeah, these are the activities that you can try. Um, Given the experiments, you are to identify whether the given is a discrete or continuous. Right? I have here the answers for that one. And then I have another activity for you. Try this. Suppose three coins are tossed. Let y be the random variable representing the number of tails that occur. Find the probability of each of the values of the random variable y. So you can just try this one, and I believe you can see this one in your book or on the module that your teacher will be giving to you. So that's it. If you have any clarification about this one, just message or comment on the comment section, of course. So that's it. And thanks. See you in the next vid. Thanks, peeps.